Okay, so, I came up with a stupid idea, and that's pitting my own characters against each other in a fight to the death in a newer version of the Hunger Games simulator that I've been using for 2 videos in the past. So, here are the teams. District 1, me and Ivy. District 2, Lilbit and Stitchmouth. Though it shows its actual name as Myra Matthews, the corpse inside the possessed toy. District 3, Emmy and Abby. District 4, Zeph and Safi. District 5, Callie and Coco. You may be wondering, why are my Sonic characters' other 2 family members in a separate team from her? I have no fucking idea. I just set it up this way because I'm stupid. And I didn't know how I would pair up all these unrelated characters besides the ones that I know would work together. District 6, the return of Allura, but she's with my Sylveon character, one of them, Nia, for some fucking reason. I don't know. Maybe Nia's Allura's Pokemon. I have no idea how that goes, but okay. District 7, Mal and Moonlight. Yes, there's 2 different characters of mine that are called Moonlight, but this Moonlight is the bird. As you'll see later, or as you can see on screen, the other Moonlight is an Umbreon. Anyway, District 8, Confetti and Sprinkles. My Funtime Foxy and Mangle Kinsonas. District 9, Kim and Holly. Now, you may be saying to yourself, wait a minute, these characters aren't technically yours. And they've been in 2 other videos like this in the past. And to that I say, these are actually my Kinsona version designs of them. And because they're technically different versions of canon characters and character-based OCs, these technically count and are different versions of the character. So, yeah. District 10, Candy and Socks. District 11, Holly with a Y and Mary. And District 12, Moonlight, the Umbreon, and Prism. With all that having been said, we are going to start. Stupid fucking proceed. Oh my god. I'm going to say this ahead of time, but I've added some custom events in here, and they're really fucking funny ones. So, yeah. Also, before we go on to anything else, fair warning, there's gonna be swears, there's gonna be death threats. One of the events has the characters shout slurs randomly, and there's of course gonna be mentions of suicide, so yeah. You know how these things go. Let's begin with the bloodbath. As the tributes stand on their podiums to horn sounds, Socks runs away from the cornucopia. Prism grabs a backpack and retreats. I snatched a pair of says. Laura grabs a shovel. Candy and Lolbit fight for a bag. Lolbit gives up and retreats. Kelly runs away from the cornucopia, and so does Coco. And Emmy. Birdie grabs a jar of fishing bait while Holly gets fishing gear. The other Holly leaves. Happy shit! This is for her own drugs killing her, so the code shit is bugged for some reason. That's meant to be fuck. Was I meant to type it out fully? Ah, shit. Whatever. Mal runs away from the cornucopia. Zephyr runs away. Cam runs away. Ivy finds a canteen full of water. Stitch Mouse runs away. Abby finds a bag of explosives. Confetti grabs a backpack, not realizing it's empty. Mooney falls into a pit and dies instantly. What the fuck? How? Huh? Sprinkles finds a bag full of camping equipment. Mary gathers as much food as she can. Nia falls into a pit and dies too. What the hell? Why are the Pokemon dying? What the fuck? Proceed. Day 1. Coco stabs Kim in the back with a trident. Oh my god, it's day 1. Why? Every time since the last time have there been people getting violent on the first fucking day? What the fuck? Mary makes a slingshot. I constructed a shack. Callie, Sprinkles, Birdie, Holly, and Emmy hunt for other tributes. Candy camouflages herself in the bushes. Confetti camouflages himself in the bushes. Abby sets fire with a Molotov. What the fuck? Oh my god. No! Why is everyone so violent from the get-go? Sappy is pricked by thorns while picking berries. Laura tells Stitch Mouse to go fuck itself. I need to fix this coding error later on. I'll do that before the next round. Zephyr overhears Mal and Prism talking in the distance. Lilbit stabs Socks with a tree. What the fuck? Why is there so much violence in the beginning? Oh, there's an arena event. The remaining tributes begin to hallucinate. Sappy survives. Kelly shouts Emmy. She thought it was a shark trying to eat her. I survived. Stitch Mouse survives. Sprinkles survives. Holly survives. Birdie survives. Dee survives. Prism survives. Laura mistakes Zephyr for a bear and kills her. Abby and Mary decide to jump down the rabbit hole to Wonderland, which turns out to be a pit of rocks. Oh my god, this is great. Coco survives. Lilbit survives. Candy survives. Mal hugs a tracker jacker nest, believing it to be a pillow. Proceed. 11 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. That many people fell already? Holly, Mooney, Nia, Kim, Ivy, Socks, Emmy, Zephyr, Abby, Mary, and Mal all fucking died. Oh my god. And they all died at the very beginning. I wasn't expecting there to be an arena event at the very beginning of the round. Oh my god. Proceed. Night 1. Birdie starts a fire. Lobit sets up camp for the night. Holly sees a fire but stays hidden. Confetti, Kiki, and Sprinkle sleep in shifts. Laura questions her sanity. Prism receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Kelly receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Safi kills Stitch as what's its own weapon. Oh my god. Candy receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Coco thinks about winning. Candy tries to speak. Her fish was a trident. Confetti and Safi split up to search for resources. Coco and Alora work together for the day. I shall not Sprinkle strangles a little bit after engaging in a fist fight. What? They're siblings! Oh my god, what the fuck? Callie thinks about home. Birdie and Prism smoke weed together. I love my custom events that I added to this shit so much. Holly picks flowers. Proceed. 2 cannon shots can be heard. Stitch Mouse and Lolbit. Night 2. Birdie screams for help. Sprinkles, Confetti, Holly, and Kiki sleep in shifts. Safi questions her sanity. Coco and Candy tell stories about themselves to each other. Prism and Kelly tell stories about themselves to each other. Laura thinks about winning. Okay. Proceed. Day 3. Sprinkles goes hunting. Candy, Laura, Confetti, and Coco track down and kill Birdie. Oh my god. Holly is unable to convince Prism to not kill her. I searched for firewood. Callie begs for Safi to kill her. She refuses, keeping Callie alive. This is taking a toll on Callie. Oh my god. 2 cannon shots, Birdie and Holly. Night 3. Sprinkles hums quietly. Laura and Callie run into each other and decide to truce for the night. Coco and Confetti hold hands. Prism sees a fire but stays hidden. Safi destroys Kiki's supplies oh shit. My supplies got destroyed. Candy goes to sleep. Proceed. Okay, now it's the feast. The cornucopia is replenished with food, supplies, and weapons The cornucopia is replenished with food, supplies, weapons, and memoirs from the tributes' families. Coco decides not to go to the feast. Safi decides not to go. Sprinkles strangles Confetti with a rope. They're literally twins. What the fuck? I'm not questioning the logic of this game anymore. God. Prism sets an explosive off, killing Sandy and Laura. Callie falls into a pit and dies. I can't handle the circumstances and commit suicide. Oh my god, this has been such a chaotic game. Oh Lord. Coco, Sprinkles, and Prism get into a fight. Sprinkles triumphantly kills them both. Steffi falls into a frozen lake and drowns, meaning Sprinkles won this shit. ground at all. I'm going to fix the issues with the custom coding that I've added into this for the custom events. So I'll be back once that's fixed, because I didn't know it would have fucked up like that.
1 minute later.
Okay. All the teams are the same. I've fucked around with the event settings. Hopefully the event coding is fixed. And I did add one more funny little custom event. It's a fatal one that involves murder. And it's a nighttime event only. Hopefully I fixed the coding errors from last round. Also last round, Sprinkles got the most fucking kills. Wait, why does it show Confetti's picture twice? Hold up, I'm going to fix that too. Hold on. That's gonna take me like a few minutes.
A few moments later.
There we go. Sprinkles' picture is normal now. And not a copy of Confetti's picture. Oh my god, why did I fuck up like that? How did I fuck up like that? Whatever. Let's proceed. Round 2 was fixed coding, hopefully. Bloodbath attributes and on their podiums to horn sounds. Nia snatches a pair of says. Kelly runs away from the cornucopia. Zephyra runs away. Lolbit runs away. Prism finds a loose bag of pot and runs off. That's another one of the fucking custom ones that I've made. Awesome to see that. Emmy is unable to convince Abby not to kill her. Oh my god. Abby just killed her teammate. Damn it. Safi, Sprinkles, and Birdie work together to get as many supplies as possible. Stitchmouth kills Alora with her own weapon. What the fuck? Holly runs away from the cornucopia. Kitty tells Mare to go fuck herself. Yup, the coding thing that I've added definitely helped. It's all fixed. I strangled Holly with a rope. Mal and Socks work together to drown Confetti. Damn. Kim tells Coco to go kill himself. Mooney and Ivy fight for a bag. Ivy gives up and retreats. Proceed. Day 1. Seffy travels to higher ground. Socks tends to Stitchmouth's wounds. Mooney constructs a shack. Ivy tries to spear a fish with a trident. Abby makes a wooden spear. Kim constructs a shack. Sprinkles cannot handle the circumstances and commits suicide. Mary's chasing me. Coco stalks Candy. Birdie defeats Holly in a fight but spares her life. Hoba and Nia split up to search for resources. Prism questions her sanity. Zephyra receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Callie sprains her ankle running away from Mal. Proceed. Another instant arena event. Does this happen in the newer version of the simulator often? Tell me in the comments if this has happened to you too in this version of the fucking emulator. Oh my god. Not emulator, simulator, whatever. Arena event. A monstrous hurricane wreaks havoc on the arena. Candy survives. Ellie survives. Zephyra pushes Abby into an incoming boulder. I survived. Kim is sucked into the hurricane. Ivy stabs Safi, then pushes her close enough to the hurricane to suck her in. Coco survives. Sock survives. Mary stabs Lolbit to push them close enough to the hurricane to suck them in. Nia tries to save Prism from being sucked into the hurricane, only to be sucked in as well. So both of the Sylveon sisters got sucked up in the hurricane. Damn. Mooney survives. Mal tries to save Stitch Mouse from being sucked into the hurricane, only to be sucked in as well. They got sucked in too. Holly gets sucked in as well, and Birdie survives. "14 cannon shots. Emmy, Laura, Holly, confetti, sprinkles, Epic, Kim, Safi, Lolbit, Nia, Prism, Al, Stitch Mouth, and Holly, all dead instantly. What the fuck?" Proceed. Night 1. Mary loses sight of where she is. "I'm ambushed. I'm Mooney, and I'm dead." Oh god. Candy, Ivy, Callie, and Coco tell each other ghost stories to lighten the mood. Zephyr goes to sleep. Birdie tries to treat her infection. Socks thinks about home. Proceed. The feast. The cornucopia is replenished with food, supplies, weapons, and memoirs from the tribute's families. Birdie decides not to go to the feast. Mary decides not to go. Coco and Mooney decide to work together to get more supplies. Ivy and Callie fight Socks and Candy. Ivy and Callie survive. Oh god. Zephyr decides not to go to the feast. Yeah, wise choice. Considering the huge fight that occurred. Proceed. Day 2. Mooney searches for firewood. Birdie makes a slingshot. Coco dies trying to escape the arena. Ivy makes a slingshot. Zephyr, Callie, and Mary get into a fight. Zephyr triumphantly kills them both. Oh my god. 6 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Me, Socks, Candy, Coco, Callie, and Mary. Proceed. Proceed. Fuck. Proceed. Night 2. Mooney sets off an explosive, killing Ivy, Birdie, and Zephyr, meaning that Mooney won this entire shit in this round. Oh my god. Now that I've gotten the coding fixed up, I think I'll do 2 more rounds with the fixed coding. Mooney got the most kills and was the winner too, so yeah, proceed. That's just summarizing all the events that happened. This is just placements. I'm simulating again. I'm adjusting the death chance, right? So, yeah. That way, we're not having, 14 people dying at the very beginning. Hold on, I'm going to adjust that setting real quick. Be right back.
1 eternity later.
I fixed the death frequency. So, I have the death rating down to moderate now, which means we should be seeing less deaths at the very beginning. Anyway, same people, same shit, same stupid shenanigans. Proceed. Round 3, technically. Bloodbath. As the tributes stand on their podiums, the horn sounds. Lolbit snatches a bottle of alcohol and a rag. Confetti runs away from the cornucopia. Nia runs away from the cornucopia. Mal grabs a sword. Kim runs away from the cornucopia. Holly runs away. Emmy grabs a shield leaning on the cornucopia. Holly grabs a shovel. Birdie runs away from the cornucopia. Callie runs away. Mooney takes a spear from inside the cornucopia. Socks runs away from the cornucopia. Sprinkles attacks Mary, but Alora protects her, killing Sprinkles. Damn. Stitchmouth rips a mace out of Prism's hands. Or rather, paws? Whatever. Coco runs away from the cornucopia. Zephyr repeatedly stabs Safi to death with says. Why is everyone so violent at the beginning every fucking time? Do I have to lower the death rate to low? Oh my god. Ivy snatches a pair of says. Kiki runs into the cornucopia and hides. Why am I saying my own name when I should be... Whatever. That's the only... No, that's the second time I fucked that up. Whatever. Emmy runs away from the cornucopia and Candy runs away. Proceed. Day 1. Prism goes hunting. Stitchmouth thinks about home. Coco's hits an explosive off, killing Candy. What? Zephyr tells Abby to go kill herself. I forgot to fix that one. Laura picks flowers. Mal defeats Holly in a fight but spares her life. Confetti, Nia, Kiki, Birdie, and Kim hunt for other tributes. Lolbit travels to higher ground. Mia receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Ivy sprains her ankle while running away from Ivy. Mary and Socks hunt for other tributes. Mooney injures herself. Holly hunts for other tributes. I realized that I forgot to fix a thing in the code for my custom events. So I'm going to fix that after this round. And then I'm going to do, I don't know, one more round maybe? Or two. I don't know. We'll see. 3 cannon shots, Sprinkles, Safi, Candy. See, this is more of what I'm used to from the old one. Like, at least 3 deaths at the beginning. Night 1. Coco and Holly tell stories about themselves to each other. Ivy destroys Abby's supplies while she is asleep. Lolbit, Confetti, Holly, and Birdie sleep in shifts. Laura is awoken by nightmares. I accidentally stepped on a landmine. Mooney kills Prism as she tries to run. Oh my god. Emmy and Socks hold hands. Mia kills him with her own weapon. Callie and Zephyr talk about the tribute still alive. Mal cries herself to sleep. Stitchmouth is awoken by nightmares. Mary tends to her wounds. Proceed. Day 2. Holly, Emmy, and Mooney hunt for other tributes. Callie and Lolbit split up to search for resources. Coco attacks Ivy, but she manages to escape. Laura begs Mal to kill her. She refuses, keeping Laura alive. Birdie smokes a fat blunt. That's another custom one. Oh my god. Abby collects fruit from a tree. Confetti and Stitchmouth work together for the day. Holly and Mary work together for the day. Nia receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Zephyr tries to sleep through the entire day. Socks sees smoke rising in the distance, but decides not to investigate. Proceed. 3 cannon shots. Me, Prism, Kim. Proceed. Night 2. Mooney receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Nia and Confetti tell stories about themselves to each other. Birdie tries to sing herself to sleep. Lolbit and Mal track down and kill Ivy. Holly severely slices Emmy with a sword. Callie sets up camp for the night. Abby lets Holly into her shelter. Mary and Socks run into each other and decide to truce for the night. Stitch Mouse destroys Everest's supplies while he's sleeping. Laura begs for Coco to kill her. He refuses, keeping Laura alive. Proceed. Day 3. Nia tells Mary to go fuck herself. Stitch Mouse, Laura, Callie, and Holly raid Zephyr's camp while she's hunting. Birdie tries to spear a fish with a trident. Mooney sets Mal on fire with a Molotov. Coco, Confetti, Lolbit, Holly, and Socks hunt for other tributes. Abby shouts out slurs. Proceed. 3 cannon shots. Ivy, Emmy, Mal. Proceed. Night 3. Holly tries to treat her infection. Abby climbs a tree to rest. Mooney, Nia, and Confetti discuss the games and what might happen in the morning. Hallie receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Mary, Laura, and Coco cheerfully sing songs together. Lolbit sets up camp for the night. Birdie's awoken by nightmares. Socks, Stitch Mouse, and Holly cheerfully sing songs together. Zephyr receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Proceed. Day 4. Mooney discovers a river. Lolbit receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Coco collects fruit from a tree. He tells Holly to go kill. I still need to fix that. That's the only code I didn't fix yet. Stitch Mouse stalks Abby. Holly questions her sanity. Birdie injures herself. Alara injures herself. Callie sets Zephyr on fire with a Molotov. Confetti and Mary drink alcohol together and get drunk. That's another thing I added into this to make this funnier. Socks practices her archery. Arena event. The arena turns pitch black and nobody can see a thing. Callie accidentally makes contact with spiny lethal plant life. Mooney survives. Birdie survives. Socks accidentally makes contact with spiny lethal plant life too. Holly survives. Mary trips on a rock and falls off a cliff. Holly survives. Coco also trips on a rock and falls into a pit. Laura survives. Abby survives. Lolbit's tripping on rocks and falling into a pit as well. Confetti finds and kills Nia, who was making too much noise. Stitch Mouse tripped on a rock and fell into a pit. Fuck. 8 cannon shots. Zephyr, Callie, Socks, Harry, Coco, Lolbit, Nia, and Stitch Mouse. Proceed. Night 4. Laura receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Holly, Confetti, and Holly with white sleeping shifts. Both Hollies are here. Mooney destroys Abby's supplies while she's sleeping. Birdie receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. The feast, or the cornucopia, is replenished with food, supplies, weapons, and memoirs from the tribute's families. Abby decides not to go to the feast. Holly, Alora, Holly, and Birdie up to grab food, supplies, weapons, and memoirs. Confetti decides not to go to the feast. Mooney accidentally steps on a landmine. Day 5. Confetti, Birdie, Hebby, Hall, and Laura hunt for other tributes. Holly receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. 1 cannon shot, Mooney. Birdie kills Laura with a sickle. Confetti receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Abby convinces Holly to snuggle with her. Holly passes out from exhaustion. Day 6. Holly explores the arena. Confetti receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Holly throws a throwing knife into Abby's chest. Birdie discovers the cave. 2 cannon shots, Laura and Abby. Night 6. Confetti tries to treat their infection. Birdie goes to sleep. Holly thinks about home. Holly falls into a pit and dies. Day 7. Confetti tells Birdie to go kill herself. Holly receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. 1 cannon shot, Holly. Holly receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Confetti cooks their food before putting out their fire. Birdie cries herself to sleep. Day 8. Holly goes hunting. Birdie injures herself. Confetti receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. No cannon shots because no one fucking died. Holly throws a knife into Birdie's chest. And Confetti goes to sleep. Holly severely injures Confetti and leaves him to die, which means Holly won this round. Oh my god. I have to fix that one little code thing I didn't fix yet. So, I'll be back. Also, Holly's the one that got the most kills this round. So, yeah, be right back again. Oh my god, I have to fix so much shit with this. Oh my fucking god, I'm so bad at coding. What the fuck? And this is the simplest coding ever. I can't even do simple coding. Oh my god. Back again. I should have fixed the one last thing in the fucking custom event codes that I forgot to fix. So everything should work as it should have worked all along. So it's time to proceed. As the tributes stand on their podiums to horn sounds, Mary runs away from the cornucopia, a little bit runs away, Kim runs away, Mooney finds a bag full of explosives. Socks tells Kelly, go fuck herself. Sprinkles grabs a shovel. I ran away from the cornucopia. Laura runs away. Mal and Savvy fight for a bag. Mal gives up and retreats. Prism runs away from the cornucopia. Holly grabs a backpack, not realizing it's empty. Nia, Confetti, and Zephyra work together to get as many supplies as possible. Emmy runs away from the cornucopia. Coco runs away from the cornucopia. Stitchmouth and Holly fight for a bag. Stitchmouth gives up and retreats. Candy runs away from the cornucopia. Birdie grabs a jar of fishing bait while Ivy gets fishing gear. Abby runs away from the cornucopia. Day 1. Sprinkle sees smoke rising in the distance but decides not to investigate. I sprain my ankle while running away from Zephyra. Mary picks flowers. Holly questions her sanity. Abby stalks Laura. Holly begs Emmy to kill her. She refuses, keeping Holly alive. Birdie stabs Saffy with a tree branch. Kelly receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Stitchmouse collects fruit from a tree. Mal, Ivy, Kim, and Coco hunt for other tributes. Candy, Nia, Prism, Confetti, and Lulba hunt for other tributes. Mooney hunts for other tributes. Socks makes a wooden spear. Proceed. 1 cannon shot, Saffy. Night 1. Holly receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Kim receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Mary goes to sleep. Socks attempts to start a fire but is unsuccessful. Holly cries herself to sleep. Prism questions her sanity. He passes out from exhaustion. Stitch Mouse, Abby, Lolbit, confetti, party all night, getting high and wasted before fucking each other at Stitch Mouse campsite. That's another custom one, oh my god. Mal and Coco tell stories about themselves to each other. Mooney, Candy, Kiki, Allie, and Nia sleep in shifts. Ivy climbs a tree to rest. Sprinkle screams for help. Ivy quietly hums. Allura tries to treat her infection, and Bertie's also humming. Okay, proceed. Day 2. Oh shit. I changed the orientation on accident. Whoops. Day 2. Holly searches for a water source. Coco injures himself. Mary camouflages herself in the bushes. Stitch Mouse receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Eddie runs away from Lolbit. Prism smokes a fat blunt. Emmy practices her archery. Socks injures herself. Mal camouflages herself in the bushes. Candy Sprinkles and Kim hunt for other tributes. I explored the arena. Mooney camouflages himself in the bushes. Holly hunts for other tributes. Ivy and Zephyr hunt for other tributes. Abby overhears Nia and Bertie talking in the distance. Callie goes hunting. Laura receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Proceed. No cannon shots. Lolbit receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Kelly stabs Socks in the back with a trident. Stitch Mouse and Mary huddle for warmth. Mooney quietly hums. Holly tends to her wounds. Coco defeats Sprinkles in a fight but spares its life. Nia, Kim, Mal, and I party all night, getting high and wasted before fucking each other in Nia's campsite. Ivy starts a fire. Abby loses sight of where she is. Abby fends Bertie, Zephyr, and Confetti away from her fire. Candy convinces Prism to snuggle with her. Allura convinces Holly to snuggle with her. Proceed. Ivy steals from Sprinkles while it isn't looking. Abby injures herself. Mooney runs away from Holly. Kiki tells Abby to fuck off. I did. That's the third time I fucked that up. Whatever. Confetti tries to sleep through the entire day. Kim overhears Mary and Zephyr talking in the distance. Kelly runs away from Holly. Stitch Mouse camouflages itself in the bushes. Laura thinks about home. Candy discovers a river. Lolbit steals from Nia while she isn't looking. Bertie shoots an arrow into Prism's head. Coco injures himself. Mal collects fruit from a tree. Proceed. Arena event. Carnivorous squirrels start attacking the tributes. Huh? Sprinkle survives. Nia survives. Holly survives. Kim uses the squirrels to her advantage, shoving Coco into them. I'm brutally attacked by a scurry of squirrels. Mel survives. Bertie survives. Mooney survives. Candy uses the squirrels to her advantage, throwing confetti into them. Stitch Mouse survives. Lolbit survives. Laura survives. Abby survives. The squirrels separate and kill Holly and Callie. Abby tries to kill as many squirrels as she can, but there are too many of them. The squirrels separate and kill Mary and Ivy. Zephyr survives. What a chaotic arena event that happened randomly. 10 cannon shots, socks, prism, Coco, me, confetti, Holly, Ellie, Abby, Marion, Ivy. Oh my god. Night 3. Candy receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Zephyra, Allura, and Loba discuss the games and what might happen in the morning. Abby, Holly, Mal, and Stitchmouth party all night, getting high and wasted before fucking each other at Abby's campsite. Kim and Nia sleep in shifts. Birdie and Mooney hold hands. Sprinkles stays awake all night. Proceed. Day 4. Mooney discovers a river. Mal and Nia smoke weed together. Birdie receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Holly and Abby smoke weed together. Sprinkles, Olab, Stitchmouth, and Candy hunt for other tributes. Tim makes a slingshot. Laura tends to Zephyr's wounds. No cannon shots. Night 4. Laura, Mooney, Candy, and Birdie party all night, getting high and wasted before fucking each other at Laura's campsite. Abby thinks about home. Kim and Stitchmouth, Zephyr, and Sprinkles away from her fire. Lobet tends to their wounds. Holly destroys Nia's supplies while she's sleeping. Mal quietly hums. Proceed. Day 5. Lobet kills Stitchmouth for its supplies. Sprinkles overhears Mooney and Zephyr talking in the distance. Candy throws a knife into Mal's head. Birdie goes hunting. Abby makes a wooden spear. Holly fishes. Laura camouflages herself in the bushes. Kim and Nia drink alcohol together and get drunk. Proceed. 2 cannon shots, Stitchmouse and Mal. Proceed. Night 5. Zephyra, Nia, and Lobet discuss the games and what might happen in the morning. Sprinkles he's a fire but stays hidden. Candy fends Kim, Birdie, and Abby away from her fire. Mooney quietly hums. Holly stays awake all night. Laura receives an explosion from an unknown sponsor. Proceed. Day 6. Candy scares Holly off. Zephyr receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Birdie stalks Abby. Ian makes a wooden spear. Mooney travels to higher ground. Kim attacks Sprinkles, but Laura protects it, killing Kim. Lobet receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Proceed. 1 cannon shot, Kim. Lobet tends to their wounds. Zephyr receives stretched food from an unknown sponsor. Abby attempts to climb a tree, but falls to her death. Laura questions her sanity. Mooney thinks about home. Nia, Sprinkles, and Holly discuss the games and what might happen in the morning. Candy questions her sanity. Birdie tends to her wounds. Proceed. The feast. The cornucopia is replenished with food, supplies, weapons, memoirs from the tribute's families. Lobet and Zephyr you'll fight over raw meat, but Zephyr gives up and runs away. And he decides not to go to the feast. Sprinkles decides not to go. Birdie and Candy fight Holly and Mooney. Holly and Mooney survive. Laura decides not to go to the feast. Yeah, that's probably a poor decision, considering what happened beforehand. Day 7. Mooney hunts for other tributes. Nia dies of dysentery. Sprinkles scares a little bit off. Laura tells Zephyr to go fuck herself. Holly searches for a water source. 4 cannon shots. Happy Birdie, Candy, and Nia. Night 7. Sprinkles looks at the night sky. Laura receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Zephyr tends to Lobet's wounds. Mooney climbs a tree to rest. Holly tends to her wounds. Day 8. Holly Holly is pricked by thorns while picking berries. Sprinkles searches for firewood. Zephyr was a little bit who killed themselves. But that's another thing in the code that I forgot to fix. I need to fix that too here in a moment. Laura makes a slingshot. Mooney makes a slingshot. No cannon shots. Night 8. Sprinkles is unable to start a fire and sleeps without warmth. Holly defeats Laura in a fight but spares her life. Zephyr receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Mooney tries to treat their infection. Lobet dies from thirst. Day 9. Sprinkles scares Mooney off. Holly's supposed to that blood. Laura sees smoke rising in the distance but decides not to investigate. Zephyr searches for a water source. One cannon shot and it's Lobet. Night 9. Laura destroys Zephyr's supplies while she's sleeping. Sprinkles tries to treat its infection. Holly tries to sing herself to sleep. Mooney starts a fire. Day 10. Mooney receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Sprinkles, Laura, Holly, and Zephyr hunt for other tributes. No cannon shots. Night 10. Laura looks at the night sky. Zephyr looks at the night sky. Holly passes out from exhaustion. Sprinkles attempts to start a fire but is unsuccessful. Mooney also attempts to start a fire but fails. Day 11. Holly tells Zephyr to fuck off. Mooney hides hypothermia. Sprinkles sets Laura on fire with a Molotov. This means we're all down to the last 3. 2 cannon shots. Mooney and Laura, last 3. Sprinkles defeats Zephyr in a fight but spares her life. They questions her sanity. Day 12. Sprinkles practices her archery. Holly tells Zephyr to fuck off. No cannon shots. Night 12. Sprinkles shoots an arrow at Zephyr but misses and kills Holly instead. Last 2. Sprinkles pushes Zephyr off a cliff during a knife fight, meaning Sprinkles won. 2 cannon shots. Holly and Zephyr. Sprinkles is the winner. Sprinkles got the most kills with 3. Oh my god. I'm also going to fix that one last issue in my coding for the custom events. I'll be back again for what is this? The 4th time I had to fix something with this shit? I'll return.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
I checked the event code, but nothing was actually wrong with it. I think it's that this version of the fucking simulator is kind of bugged, and it has nothing to do with my shitty coding skills. Same shit next round. Is this round 5? Or is it 6? I lost count. I'm just gonna proceed. Bloodbath. As the tributes stand on their podiums to horn sounds, Mooney runs away from the cornucopia. Lobet scares goes away from the cornucopia. Birdie runs away from the cornucopia. Coco runs away. Holly rips a mace out of Candy's hands. Prism, Laura, and Emmy work together to get as many supplies as possible. Holly runs away from the cornucopia. Confetti runs away. Ivy steps Stitch mouth while its back is turned. Socks rips a mace out of Mary's hands. Kim grabs a backpack and retreats. Kelly laces Abby's shit, but confuses it for her own drugs, killing herself. That's another custom thing, oh my god. I'm always gonna crack up when I see my custom shit in here. Nia runs away from the cornucopia. Steffi finds a canteen full of water. Zephyr finds a bag full of explosives. Mal runs away from the cornucopia. I ran away from the cornucopia. Proceed. Day 1. Sprinkles receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Laura collects fruit from a tree. Kim and Candy drink alcohol together and get drunk. I traveled to higher ground. Mary overpowers Birdie, calling her. Holly makes a slingshot. Mooney, Zephyr, Abby, Safi, and Prism hunt for other tributes. Ivy explores the arena. Coco and Confetti hunt for other tributes. Emmy chases Lolbit. Mal collects fruit from a tree. Sus tells Holly to fuck off. He receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Proceed. Arena event. A cloud of poisonous smoke starts to fill the arena. Safi survives. Mary survives. Prism is engulfed in the cloud of poisonous smoke. Oh my god. And poison is one of the types that are super effective against fairy. Oh shit. Prism's absolutely fucked. Because she's a fairy type. Ivy sacrifices herself so Zephyr can get away. Mal is engulfed in the cloud of poisonous smoke. Nia survives. Holly survives. Lolbit slowly pushes Kim closer into the cloud until she can't resist anymore. Holly survives. Coco survives. Abby and Sykes agree to die in the cloud together, but Abby walks in without warning. Confetti and I agreed to die in the cloud together. Confetti pushes me in without warning. Mooney survives. Candy slowly pushes Laura closer into the cloud until she can't resist anymore. Sprinkles slowly pushes Emmy closer into the cloud until she can't resist anymore. Oh my god. 11 cannon shots. Stitch, Mouse, Callie, Birdie, Prism, Ivy, Mal, Kim, Socks, me, Allura, and Emmy. Oh my god. Night 1. Holly lets Coco into her shelter. Holly screams for help. Mary receives a hatchet from unknown sponsor. Mooney destroys Candy's supplies while she's sleeping. Sprinkle, Zephyr, Abby, and Safi sleep in shifts. Confetti sets up camp for the night. Holly receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Nia receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Proceed. Holly tells Candy to go fuck herself. Nia receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Safi, Confetti, Holly, and Mary raid Mooney's camp while they're hunting. Abby tends to Coco's wounds. Zephyr chases Sprinkles. I love my custom events so fucking much. Proceed. Oh. No cannon shots. Night 2. Confetti begs for Candy to kill him. She reluctantly obliges, killing Confetti. Lolbit sees a fire but stays hidden. Abby, Holly, Nia, and Zephyr tell each other ghost stories to lighten the mood. Mooney defeats Sprinkles in a fight but spares its life. Coco receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Safi screams for help. Mary begs for Holly to kill her. She refuses, keeping Mary alive. If Mary is begging her own mother to kill her, I think she's going through it. Oh my god. Day 3. Holly chases Nia. Mary practices her archery. Candy and Coco split up to search for resources. Zephyr scares Holly off. Mooney and Safi work together for the day. Sprinkles searches for firewood. Lolbit chases Abby. Proceed. 1 cannon shot. Confetti. Night 3. Holly tends to Coco's wounds. Holly cooks her food before putting her fire out. Candy receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Safi, Sprinkles, Lopa, and Mary tell each other ghost stories to lighten the mood. Nia loses sight of where she is. Zephyr screams for help. Abby is unable to start a fire and sleeps without warmth. Mooney tries to sing themselves to sleep. Proceed. Day 4. Holly makes a slingshot. Coco picks flowers. I almost said brick. God damn it, my dyslexia sometimes. Mary receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Abby chases Mooney. Candy scares a little bit off. Zephyr hunts for other tributes. Nia searches for firewood. Safi defeats Holly in a fight but spares her life. Sprinkles injures itself. No cannon shots. Night 4. Lopa and Zephyr talk about the tributes still alive. Mooney convinces Holly to snuggle with them. Sprinkles and Candy sleep in shifts. Mary thinks about winning. Safi sets an explosive off, killing Abby, Holly, Coco, and Nia. The feast. Cornucopia is replenished with food, supplies, weapons, and memoirs for the tribute's families. Candy stuffs a bundle of dry clothing into a backpack before sprinting away. Safi sobs while gripping a photo of her friends and family. Sprinkle sobs while gripping a photo of its friends and family. Zephyr decides not to go to the feast. Mooney decides not to go. Holly decides not to go. Lilbit decides not to go. Mary falls into a frozen lake and drowns. Proceed. Day 5. Safi tends to Holly's wounds. Sprinkles tells Candy to go kill herself. Mooney injures themselves. Zephyr searches for firewood. Lilbit is pricked by thorns while picking berries. 5 cannon shots. Abby, Holly, Coco, Nia, and Mary. Proceed. Candy stays awake all night. Abby receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Sprinkles gives a tree to rest. Lilbit stays afire but stays hidden. Mooney loses sight of where they are. Holly cooks her food before putting her fire out. Zephyr questions her sanity. Day 6. Safi, Holly, Lilbit, Candy, and Mooney hunt for other tributes. Zephyr questions her sanity once again. Sprinkles discovers a river. Damn it, I cannot pronunciate sometimes. No cannon shots. Night 6. Lilbit and Holly track down and kill Safi. Zephyr destroys Candy supplies while she's sleeping. Mooney smokes too much weed and dies. That's another custom thing that I added. It's a custom death. Sprinkles tends to its wounds. Day 7. Zephyr defeats Lilbit in a fight but spares their life. Candy, Sprinkles, and Holly hunt for other tributes. Arena event. Monstrous hurricane wreaks havoc on the arena. Lilbit survives. Zephyr survives. Holly pushes Sprinkles into an incoming boulder. Candy's incapacitated by flying debris and dies. 4 cannon shots. Safi, Mooney, Sprinkles, and Candy. Night 7, we're down to the last 3. Lilbit loses sight of where they are. Zephyr defeats Holly in a fight but spares her life. Day 8, Holly scares Lilbit off. Zephyr sees smoke rising in the distance but decides not to investigate. No cannon shots. Holly receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Zephyr looks at the night sky. Lilbit thinks about winning. Holly picks flowers. Lilbit tends to Zephyr's wounds. Proceed. No cannon shots. When will the last three be at each other's throats already? Night 9. Lilbit and Zephyr run into each other and decide to truce for the night. Holly thinks about home. Day 10. Lilbit chases Holly. Zephyr smokes too much weed and dies. One cannon shot in Zephyr. Lilbit overpowers Holly, killing her. Lilbit wins. And she got the most kills too. Well, whatever. There's no way I don't just do one more round. I have to. One more round. One more round. One more round. One more round. Yeah. One more round. 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 Bloodbath. As the tributes stand on their podiums, the horn sounds. Holly runs away from the cornucopia. The other Holly runs away from the cornucopia as well. Purple runs away. Katie runs away. Emmy stays at the cornucopia for resources. Kelly takes a handful of throwing knives. Mary runs away from the cornucopia. Abby strangles Socks after engaging in a fist fight. Stitch Mouse runs away from the cornucopia. Zephyr breaks Sappy's nose for a basket of bread. Mia tells Moody to go fuck herself for themselves. Whoops. I cannot read. Laura runs into the cornucopia and hides. Sprinkles runs into the cornucopia and hides. I received a trident from inside the cornucopia. Lilbit runs away from the cornucopia. Prism runs away. Kim grabs a shield leaning on the cornucopia. Mal runs away from the cornucopia. Confetti finds a loose bag of pie and runs off. Birdie snatches a pair of says. Ivy grabs a shovel. Proceed. Day 1. Ivy receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Laura thinks about home. Mary travels to higher ground. Hal scares Stitch Mouse off. Confetti runs away from Zephyr. Sprinkles travels to higher ground. Coco stalks Lilbit. Birdie travels to higher ground. Holly and Mooney hunt for other tributes. Emmy overhears Holly and Nia talking in the distance. Prism searches for firewood. Candy attacks Kelly, but she manages to escape. Kim and Savvy work together for the day. Kiki runs away from Abby. I keep saying my own name. Fuck. This is the 4th time I've done that. Proceed. One cannon shot. Socks. Stitch Mouse and Sprinkles, Birdie, and Coco away from its fire. Sappy and Nia hold hands. Candy climbs a tree to rest. Holly destroys Mooney's supplies while they are asleep. Kim climbs a tree to rest. Kelly tries to sing herself to sleep. Zephyr begs for Laura to kill her. She refuses, keeping Zephyr alive. Abby and Prism tell stories about themselves to each other. Mel starts a fire. I quietly hum. Holly passes out from exhaustion. Abby and Lilbit huddle for warmth. Mary thinks about home. Or Mary thinks about winning. Whoops, I cannot read. Sorry. Ivy receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor, and Confetti dies from infection. Proceed. Day 2. Kim tries to sleep through the entire day. Mooney laces Holly shit, but confuses it for their own drugs, killing themselves. Prism sees smoke rising in the distance, but decides not to investigate. Zephyr questions her sanity. Sprinkle sees smoke rising in the distance, but decides not to investigate. Oh God. Kelly runs away from Holly. Or Candy runs away from Holly. Oh my god, I cannot read. Holy shit. Birdie tries to spearfish with a trident. Mel searches for a water source. Coco discovers a river. Mary chases Emmy. Kelly questions her sanity. Yeah, I'm also questioning my sanity. My sanity on why the fuck I cannot read sometimes. Velvet constructs a shack. Ivy is pricked by thorns while picking berries. He sees smoke rising in the distance but decides not to investigate. Abby searches for a water source. Stitch Mouse receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Safi sees smoke rising in the distance but decides not to investigate. I travel to higher ground. Laura questions her sanity. Proceed. 2 cannon shots, confetti and Mooney. Night 2. Safi starts a fire. Mary and Candy hold hands. Stitch Mouth thinks about home. I defeat Holly in a fight but spare her life. I nearly fucked up a 5th time. I corrected myself. Laura convinces Zephyr to snuggle with her. Ivy, Emmy, and Kim cheerfully sing songs together. Abby cooks her food before putting out her fire. Prism receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Coco looks at the night sky. Nia fends Holly, Callie, and Birdie away from her fire. Lolbit sprinkles Malk into a fight. Lolbit triumphantly kills them both. Proceed. Day 3. Safi picks flowers. Coco tells Holly to go fuck herself. Kim steals from Callie while she isn't looking. Kiki scares Birdie off. I did fuck that up a 5th time anyway. Fuck. Mary attacks Holly, but she manages to escape. Ivy searches for firewood. Candy, Zephyr, Nia, and Stitch Mouse hunt for other tributes. Laura begs for Lolbit to kill her. They refuse, keeping Laura alive. Emmy goes hunting. Abby discovers a river. Prism makes a slingshot. Proceed. 2 cannon shots. Sprinkles and Mal. Proceed. Night 3. Holly goes to sleep. Laura receives a hatch from an unknown sponsor. Ivy passes out from exhaustion. Holly receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Prism loses sight of where she is. Lolbit sets up camp for the night. Coco, Kim, Zephyr, and Abby tell each other ghost stories to lighten the mood. Callie, Birdie, Stitch Mouse, and I do the same thing. Amy cries herself to sleep. Safi, Mary, Candy, and Nia also tell each other ghost stories. Proceed. Day 4. Holly, Zephyr, and Candy hunt for other tributes. Some shouts out slurs. Kim attacks Stitch Mouse, but it manages to escape. Safi scares Birdie off. Nia, Laura, Mary, and Ivy hunt for other tributes. I tell Callie to go fuck herself. Holly sees smoke rising in the distance but decides not to investigate. Abby discovers a cave. Coco smokes a fat blunt. Emmy tends to Lolbit's wounds. Proceed. No cannon shots. Holly convinces Prism to snuggle with her. Lolbit receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Birdie convinces me to snuggle with her. Why did I almost call myself Coco? Shit. Mary lets Stitch Mouse into her shelter. Me questions her sanity. Callie defeats Kim in a fight but spares her life. Abby tries to not defeat. Treat. Oh my god. Abby tries to fucking treat her infection. Oh my god, I cannot read. Holly goes to sleep. Candy finds Coco's Happy and Zephyr away from her fire. Laura attempts to start a fire but is unsuccessful. Ivy sees the fire but stays hidden. Nia climbs a tree to rest. Proceed. Zephyr overhears Ivy and Coco talking in the distance. Candy goes hunting. Birdie and Holly work together for the day. Laura receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Prism and Safi hunt for other tributes. Holly constructs a shack. I receive an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Nia camouflages herself in the bushes. Kelly questions her sanity. Lolbit, Stitch Mouse, Kim and Abby raid Emmy's camp while she isn't looking. While she's hunting, but same fucking thing, right? Mary searches for a water source. No cannon shots. Night 5. Zephyr receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Coco begs for Mary to kill him. She refuses, keeping Coco alive. Kim screams for help. Mia tries to treat her infection. Kiki tends to Stitch Mouth's wounds. Emmy cries herself to sleep. Birdie passes out from exhaustion. Ellie thinks about winning. Laura climbs a tree to rest. Happy, Candy, and Abby cheerfully sing songs together. Isn't Ivy sleep in shifts? The Hollies tell stories about themselves to each other. And Lolbit receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Proceed. Safi, Abby, Zephyr, Holly, and Ivy hunt for other tributes. Blech, fucking dyslexia. I want to die. Coco runs away from Kim. Stitch Mouse tends to Lolbit's wounds. Emmy is pricked by thorns while picking berries. Nia discovers a cave. Birdie and Alora work together to drown Prism. Candy tells Callie to fuck off. Mary is pricked by thorns while picking berries. Holly questions her sanity. I'm also questioning my sanity. Even in real life I am, because, how is my dyslexia this bad tonight? Proceed. One cannon shot, Prism. Night 6. Safi, Candy, and Mary discuss the games and what might happen in the morning. Lolbit sets up camp for the night. Zephyr and Nia work together to drown me. Oh my god. Emmy goes to sleep. Holly thinks about home. Holly laces Birdie shit, killing her. Ivy, Alora, Coco, and Stitch Mouse sleep in shifts. Callie ambushes Abby and kills her. Kim screams for help. Proceed. Day 7. Kim and Ivy work together to drown Coco. Candy, Holly, Nia, and Holly raid Mary's camp while she's hunting. Savvy, Alora, Emmy, and Lolbit and Zephyr hunt for other tributes. Holly tries to spear fish with a trident. Stitch Mouse shouts out slurs. Four cannon shots, me, Birdie, Abby, and Coco. Night 7. Stitch Mouse and Zephyr huddle for warmth. Lolbit dies from hunger. Callie destroys Ivy's supplies while she's sleeping. Holly loses sight of where she is. Mary, Candy, Nia, and Emmy party all night, getting high and wasted before fucking each other at Mary's campsite. Kim, Holly, Laura, and Happy tell each other ghost stories to lighten the mood. Day 8. Safi chases Ivy. Callie, Laura, Holly, and Holly hunt for other tributes. Kim discovers a cave. Candy smokes a fat blunt. Stitch Stitchmouse collects fruit from a tree. Emmy receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Mary defeats Nia in a fight but spares her life. Zephyr receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Proceed. Arena event. A volcano erupts at the center of the arena. Laura pushes Ivy in the lava. Emmy survives. Safi survives. Stitchmouse survives. Candy survives. Kim survives. Holly survives. The other Holly survives. Zephyr survives. Kelly is burned in ash. Nia survives. And Mary suffocates. Proceed. 4 cannon shots. Lolbit, Ivy, Callie, and Mary. Night 8. Nia, Stitchmouse, and Holly discuss the games and what might happen in the morning. Holly receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Laura tries to sing herself to sleep. Candy tends to Emmy's wounds. Safi lets Zephyr into her shelter. Kim climbs a tree to rest. Day 9. Emmy receives a hatch from an unknown sponsor. Hefra picks flowers. Candy goes hunting. Laura tries to sleep through the entire day. Nia attacks Holly, but she manages to escape. Stitchmouse, Kim, Holly, and Safi hunt for other tributes. No cannon shots. Night 9. Kim receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Safi defeats Emmy in a fight but spares her life. Holly loses sight of where she is. Andy thinks about winning. Holly, Stitchmouse, Zephyr, Laura, and Nia all sleep in shifts. Day 10. Kim tends to Holly's wounds. Emmy, Nia, Safi, Holly, and Laura all hunt for other tributes. Andy runs away from Stitchmouse. Zephyr tries to sleep through the entire day. No cannon shots. Night 10. Zephyr defeats Holly in a fight but spares her life. Emmy goes to sleep. Holly cries herself to sleep. Safi lets Nia into her shelter. Stitchmouse begs for Kim to kill it. She refuses, keeping Stitchmouse alive. Laura and Candy tell stories about themselves to each other. Day 11. Stitchmouse scares Nia off. Laura runs away from Holly. Kim and Zephyr smoke weed together. Candy runs away from Safi. Holly questions her sanity. Emmy receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. No cannon shots. Emmy tends to Holly's wounds. Candy, Laura, Safi, Kim, and Holly sleep in shifts. Nia questions her sanity. Zephyr attempts to start a fire but is unsuccessful. Stitchmouse questions its sanity. Day 12. Nia receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Holly thinks about home. Kim, Holly, Stitchmouse, and Zephyr raid Candy's camp while she's hunting. Emmy discovers a cave. Laura discovers a river. Safi tries to sleep through the entire day. No cannon shots. Night 12. Candy, Kim, and Zephyr discuss the games and what might happen in the morning. Laura, Holly, Seth, and Holly sleep in shifts. Nia kills Emmy with her own weapon. Stitchmouse cries itself to sleep. Feast. The cornucopia is replenished with food, supplies, weapons, and memoirs from the tribute's families. Stitchmouse and Holly track down and kill Nia. Zephyr decides not to go to the feast. Holly decides not to go. Kim decides not to go. Candy stuffs a bundle of dry clothing into a backpack before sprinting away. Laura decides not to go to the feast, and Safi decides not to go. Day 13. Candy receives a hatch from an unknown sponsor. Holly makes a wooden spear. Stitchmouse makes a slingshot. Zephyr overpowers Holly, killing her. Laura overhears Kim and Safi talking in the distance. Arena event. A tsunami rolls into the arena. Zephyr fatally injures herself on the breeze. Kim is swept away. Safi survives. Candy survives. Holly survives. Stitchmouse survives. Laura fatally injures herself on the breeze. 6 cannon shots. Emmy, Nia, Holly, Zephyr, him, and Alora. About time some people died. Night 13. Holly sets an explosive off, killing Candy. Happy quietly hums. Stitch Mouse receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. This means we're down to the last 3 already. Holly defeats Stitch Mouse in a fight but spares its life. Safi discovers a river. 1 cannon shot Candy. Safi loses sight of where she is. Stitch Mouse is unable to start a fire and sleeps without warmth. Holly dies of dysentery. Day 15. Stitch Mouse accidentally detonates a landmine while trying to arm it, which means the win goes to, I don't remember. I'll see in a moment. 2 cannon shots. Holly, Stitch Mouse. It's Safi. Safi won our final round. And, who here gotten the most kills? Holly, Laura, Zeph, Nia, a little bit. They all have 2. So they're all tied for most. And yeah, that's it. Hunger Games was my fucking OCs because I got fucking bored and I watched some stupid shit. This is all I wanted to show off. Bye.